Hello, it's me, that Divination witch. I hope you're doing well. I am here with another witchy video to talk about my favourite person in the entire world. Hecate, Hecate, whatever, however you want to say her name. Somebody at time of filming recently asked me, what happens to her devotees when their life is over? Let's put it like that. What happens in the afterlife for a follower of Hecate? So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, my name's Sarah. If you don't know who I am, I go by that Divination witch online. I started on TikTok posting readings, and then I've branched out here onto YouTube talking about my journey, talking about information I've learned, and I try and just be as down to earth and practical as possible. And if you like that, please subscribe. I've also got a link tree below with my Etsy store, and I've got a Patreon service now. I offer readings on both of those things. If you're interested, please check it out. Thank you. And if you hear noise in the background, apologies. My house rabbit has decided to throw a hissy fit. And I've also got a dishwasher on. Great time for filming. Let's do all the noisy things, Sarah. So, aside from the slurpy gurpy noises and the rabbit having a hissy fit, yes, I want to talk about what happens to us followers of Mother Hecate in the afterlife. So I'm going to give you my theory, my UPG on this. So, you know, make your own mind up. You don't have to agree with me. This isn't set in stone. This is just what I theorise over the years of working with Mother, from what she's told me and what I've asked of her. So yeah, ages ago I did a video explaining my theory on what happens when we die anyways. I believe that the soul is something that is kind of eternal per se. Our spirit, we go through several reincarnations, and that's how people have past lives. I have had quite a few past lives to my knowledge, and maybe more. You know, I'm quite an old soul. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing though. Souls keep reincarnating to learn lessons, to gain enlightenment. That's why Earth, the world we live in right now, the 3D world, is so harsh to live in, because it's very dense. It's full of hard lessons. There are lots of theories on what people think Earth is. Some say it's a punishment. Some say it's a prison planet. All these different theories. But whatever you think, regardless of that, Earth, we can't deny, is pretty hard to live in. You know, especially at the moment, it's very dense energy, pretty negative, and a lot of lessons, you know, can be learned by living on planet Earth. And so our spirit will keep reincarnating here to learn lessons for our own personal enlightenment. There are theories as well about the collective enlightenment of the planet as a whole, and I'm not even talking about that yet. You know, I'm just on about us as individuals. So we keep coming back to learn lessons, and with the hopes of we will return to source. Source being that one creator God that created everything and everyone, including Hecate, that is just the energy of life and the universe. It is a neutral energy. It is not good or bad, because the universe is made up of all these things. It just is. And we are in an eternal cycle, because who knows what happens after that? Are we born again as a brand new soul? Are we something else? You know, do we remember any of these lives? Do we not? There's loads and loads of theories. My personal theory on reincarnation as a whole and deities is that deities are management. That's the way I see it, like middle management per se. You've got the creator that created everything. And yes, in Abrahamic religions, they say that's their God, but it isn't. That's another story, which is on my channel. If you look up my theories on Yahweh, it's on there. But you've got the creator God who, boosh, created everything, boosh. Then you've got deities and the different archetypes, and Hecate is one of the, and there are other archetypes like Hecate, which I talk about on this channel as well. Like off the top of my head, because I'm researching her at the moment, Morana is one of them, Ereshkigal, the Morrigan, and so on and so forth, right? So we've got the middle management people. So in this life, I am a devotee to Hecate, and I am following her teachings as the dark, divine, feminine. Let's just say it like that at the moment. And somebody else may follow, I always use her as an example, but Aphrodite or Venus or Freya or whoever, and follow a different side of the feminine, a more, I suppose, lighter side per se. Someone else could follow Odin, wisdom, knowledge, different archetypes, okay? And each deity in each mythology, even Abrahamic religions, we've got the concept of heaven and hell. We've got the concept of an afterlife. Hellenismos itself, the underworld, or Hades, the place as a whole is known as Hades, not just the god Hades. You have different levels of the underworld. You have Tartarus, the place you go if you are evil and bad and you are punished in Tartarus. You've got the Elysian Fields, which are a pleasant place. You go if, well, you're a hero. They're normally there for exceptionally good people. And then, I forgot the name off the top of my head, bad pagan here, but you've got a place for normal people, just your average person to hang out. Same with all religions and mythologies, even Christianity, heaven, hell, limbo. And then there's different layers to all these things. Deities reside over their different realms, and Hecate herself, if we delve into her and her mythology, she is known as a psychopomp. A psychopomp is kind of like a grim reaper, not in a bad way, I don't mean it was scaring people, but she is a guide to lost souls. She ferries people to where they need to go, she guides them. So she is an underworld afterlife goddess. That's her job role per se, well, one of many job roles. But so is Hermes, messenger of the gods, also a psychopomp, also a guide to the dead, different energies. But what I am trying to say here is, with Mother, in the afterlife, you may spend a time with her if you are her follower. And souls have free will. So you could, and I have asked her this as well, you could ask to remain with her as long as you want to remain with her. You could. Look at her mythology. Her own dogs were once women. Her companions, she has a lot of companions that are spirits that stick with her. She has a lot of animal spirits that stick with her. That's another theory for another day. There is the possibility of staying with her, whether it is in your spirit form, a human form, an animal form. That's just Mother and her particular preference, Hecate's preference. There are other deities, and I know this from my own past life, that have their own concepts of afterlife. I go back to the Norse, okay? Because Lady Frigg, or Frigga, Odin's wife, is my ancestral protector. And I have spent time in her hall. Now, in the Norse concept of the afterlife, when you die, if you're a hero, you go to Valhalla or Frey's hall. If you're average, you go to Helheim. If you're not so great, well, Nidhogg, which is a dragon, he might eat your soul. Or you may be going into a certain level of punishment in Helheim. There's different levels to these things. But if you have favour of a particular god, you may go to their hall. And just like Odin has Valhalla, Frigg has her own hall. And her own hall, I have spent time in that as a soul, between lives. So it's kind of like that. I personally feel if a soul has free will, and when we pass on, we may not hold the same feelings we do in life, you know, like right now, if I was to spend eternity with Hecate, I wouldn't be against that, you know, but I might grow restless of that. I might be like, I don't want to do that. When you die, when you pass on, I do feel that you have more knowledge as your soul, because we have a higher selves. Even in the 3D that we are in now, we have our higher self, and our higher self holds all this knowledge of our past lives, of our choices in this life and beyond. It holds knowledge that we as simple little humans just can't comprehend. So to me, the person who asked this question and prompted me to make this video, they asked what happens, and they asked if there's something more permanent, like as in, can you spend eternity with Hecate? To answer the question in a short manner, yes, you could, technically, if she allows that and wants that as well. But I know, Mother, unless you are 100% certain and 100% settled doing so, she would not want any of her followers to be a lost soul, because she governs over the lost souls. She, as her job role, finds lost souls and helps them on the daily. And she wouldn't want any of us to become such a thing, to be unsettled, to be restless, you know. So on the whole, I don't think I would spend forever with her. As much as I love her, I wouldn't be against it, of course not, but I would want to reincarnate. If that is the best interest for my soul, then that's what I want. In past lives, like I've said just there, Frigg is my ancestral goddess, and she's been with me through several past lives, and through my ancestors has watched over us all, the family line, especially the women in the family line. So, you know, in a past life, clearly I still love her very much, you know. As much as I love Hecate, I just don't really talk about her at the moment on here. I will soon, I will. But I love her very, very much. She is another mother of mine. And, you know, if Frigg said to me, in this life as well, you know, come to my hall when you die, okay, yeah, I wouldn't be against that either. But clearly I'm here in the 3D, you know. I haven't just stayed there forever, because that's not something, as a soul, as our whole purpose of being, of living, of having these cycles of lives, that is not our purpose. Our purpose isn't to stay there. As much as we may love these beings, these deities and spirits that help us, we aren't meant to stay there forever. That's why you know, the concept of heaven and hell does not faze me or scare me or anything. Now, I do believe that if you are bad in life, you will be punished before moving on. You will be punished in some way, you know, and there's deities that sort that out as well. You know, there are plenty of deities that do things like that. And that's why, say, a lot of demons, for example, are scary and things like that, because they reside over punishments and not so nice things, you know. So yes, there is a concept like that, but even the bad souls will have to move on to learn again. You know, they will have to reincarnate to learn again. Same with the good, you may be rewarded, and I feel like my time with Frigg in her hall was a reward, you know, to have some rest time. And that's where, as well, you know, if you've lost any family members or loved ones in this life, that's how we can contact them, because they haven't fully moved on yet. You know, they haven't just reincarnated straight away. They're in their own heaven, sort of thing, their own personal heaven, whatever that looks like to them. So if you're a Christian in this life, then you could go to somewhere that's like the pearly gates of heaven and, you know, angels flying around. If that is your idea of a happiness, you could. It's your personal heaven, it's your personal happiness, you know. So in conclusion, That's what I think. I hope it made sense. I feel like I rambled a little bit there, but I've answered the question at least that somebody wanted to know. Could you spend eternity with Hecate? Yes. Should you? Probably not. Not because I don't love her and respect her, but because, well, it's our soul's purpose, you know, and I know she wouldn't want that for us. So what do you think? Do you have any theories on this? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Let me know. I don't mind. You know, it's all theories. That's all we've got. It is. It's all we've got for any of this. But until next time, of course, stay safe and stay witchy. Bye.